most forms of coaching focus a lot on the mind, on like your thoughts, your reflections of events, on kind of your mindset generally. And then usually there's sort of steps towards like where you want to go. And that is obviously incredibly helpful. It can be so helpful to have like an independent person that's neutral towards your life, sort of guide you through where you are at, where you want to go, and sort of what's in between that. But for some of us, it feels like maybe that's not quite enough because we don't just have thoughts about events, we also have feelings about them. And feelings often come with thoughts, but they are primarily feelings in your body. And so, what I do in my sessions is I focus on the body first and foremost to see how you feel about certain things and sort of what are the feelings that you're perhaps suppressing in that area that sort of keep you from moving forward. And as we go through life, we have all these experiences, and those experiences bring up feelings. And some of them are from when we're very young. We're not always super conscious of why we feel a certain way about certain events or why certain things bring up fear in us or bring up anger in us. And all these things are very personal. And I think we as humans are we have this tendency to rationalize everything and to really look for the explanation between like why do we feel that way, but we can't always find that reason exactly, and perhaps we don't always need it. Perhaps we don't always need the story, because the story can also be a distraction from just allowing the feelings. And when you focus on the body and the physical sensations that come with your emotions, the physical sensations that you feel when you enter your workplace, when you are around different people in your life, they can give you so much information, and you don't always need to sort of rationalize all those cues you're getting. The way this works is like your nervous system is constantly scanning your environment. And through the body, your brain kind of gets a sign about how you feel about a certain situation. And then we usually create a story around that. But it starts with the body. And I think as close as you stay to the physical sensations, the purer that feeling is. And when you learn to really connect with the cues that your body is giving you learn so much about how you really feel about your life, how you feel about your job, how you feel about your relationship, about the space where you live. And the more you can really make decisions that feel super right for you, because as you connect to what feels uncomfortable, you also learn to recognize what actually feels true and right and like at home for you. And so, what I do in my sessions is I don't just focus on where you want to be. We definitely talk about that. We talk about your dreams, your hopes, your fears, your longings. But with that, we go into the body and we find where you may have avoided discomfort and sort of create the space for that discomfort to come up. And with that, I go as slow or as fast as as your body indicates. There's no wrong or right way to do it. I think everybody has their own pace and their own like unique needs in that area. But we'll focus on the body and see where you have maybe through fear developed self-protection mechanisms to avoid yourself from feeling that, or perhaps you feel loads of anger about something, and we'll go into feeling that so that at some point you can sort of finish that experience and move on from it, because we're not meant to stay stuck in our emotions. Our emotions are meant to just come by, give us some information about where we're at, how we're feeling about certain things. And then as we've naturally felt them and acknowledged them, they dissolve and we can sort of move on. But what we tend to do is we get in our heads and we start distracting ourselves because we don't want to feel this discomfort, or we start numbing ourselves, or just inventing all these ways basically not to feel. And those ways are not just things like scrolling or watching TV. It's also like perfectionism, sorry, or just avoiding the whole thing altogether, procrastination. These are all things that we can do to protect ourselves from that feeling of not being good enough. But when instead we acknowledge that feeling and give our body a chance to feel it and to process it, we no longer need those protection mechanisms. And usually it's not the feeling that is really impacting our life in that way, it's the protection mechanism we have built around not feeling it. And so in my sessions, we really create the space for that. We kind of find where your unique blocks are with certain things. Some people have them in the area of work, the area of relationships, friendships, could just be life in general. Most of them have them in every area in some way. And we sort of dig a little deeper to see what is going on and what is sort of preventing you from taking a step in that area. And none of this has to be fast. I think we have this tendency to go really fast with things, but sometimes it can be really helpful to go a little slower and just take really tiny steps that give you a chance to integrate how you feel about it without getting overwhelmed. And so this is where I give you guidance. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you would like to know more, feel free to send me an email and ask some questions, and I would love to hear from you.